Hello again, beautiful artists, and welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Skye, and I post beginning level acrylic tutorials here on YouTube every Saturday. So hit subscribe if you'd like to join the fun and paint along. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. Okay, so this week we're doing another holiday painting. This one is going to be at night and kind of a fantasy, as if we chose a tree outside to decorate. So we're going to use our 3 standard brushes for this class. So I have my large square brush, I have a round pointed brush, and also a small detail brush. I'm also going to be using my trusty old toothbrush today for some splatter action. Now I'm going to put those brushes in my water cup off the screen. Check the description box below for a full materials list of everything that you will need to paint along each week. The colors that I'm going to be using for the background step are going to be white. I have an ultramarine blue, a nice vibrant violet, and then also black. Let's go ahead and start our background step now with our big square brush. And I'm going to create sort of like a Milky Way, which is going to be really pretty, and then sort of have a little bit more of the dark night sky around the outside edges, and then I'm also going to have some snowy hills here. So that's going to be the goal for the first part, and then we are going to have a break halfway through. So let's go ahead, let's start with some blue. And we're going to kind of create a diagonal little section here where our Milky Way is going to be. Okay, we're going to be using the textured brush stroke technique here, where we're moving our hand quite a bit, kind of moving it all around in all different directions. It's a little bit too light, so I'm using a little bit of white there, but mostly blue. Okay, getting that into the canvas texture, very nice. Now, as I'm filling in this background step, I don't need to bring it all the way down to the bottom because we are going to have some hills there. Okay, so just keep that in mind, not going all the way off the edge here. And now once I have that kind of diagonal chunk of galaxy there, I'm going to grab some purple and mix that with a little bit of white also. I'm going to kind of add it in there and start to also pull it out a little bit further. Okay, we don't want like necessarily a perfect gradation here. We want that kind of randomness. And then we're actually also going to be using just the dark purple alone, and eventually working our way to a little bit of black in these upper corners. Okay, and these colors are nearby on the color wheel, so we can go ahead and just kind of blend without hesitation. Okay, the blue and the purple, you can't really go wrong. Having that nice kind of black night sky over here in the corner. It's all going to add to that Milky Way effect. Okay, and if we brought our purple in too far, remember we can add some blue back on top. So we're just kind of giving ourselves some time here to create a nice background however we like. Okay, some purple here. Again, leaving that bottom space open for our snowy hills. A little bit of water, as always, helps the paint go nice and smooth. This is actually a similar background that I did a while back called Splatter Galaxy. And that was a really fun one with just a nice simple silhouette. This is kind of like that, only we're going to have snowy trees and a big Christmas tree. And then also we're going to add the Christmas star, which is going to be really fun and significant, I think. Okay. A little bit of purple, and I think a little bit of black over here as well. A little bit of black goes a long way. So just a little pinch there, and just creating that beautiful night sky effect with that black and purple. Look beautiful together. So again, I might have gone a little bit too much with my purple into my blue there. So you can rinse your brush if you need at any time too, to take out some of that color. And acrylic paint, you can always go on top and create another layer right on top and cover any mistakes, or in this case, add a little bit more color back in there. So you can always take a little bit of another color and see that, just add it right on top there and kind of blend it on the canvas. And that will create a nice seamless transition. You can also maybe pull some of that blue into the purple as well. We don't want segmented sections here. We want a nice blended effect. Okay, that looks good to me. Let's go ahead and create some splatters now. This is my favorite part. So I am going to use my medium-sized brush for the first part of this, but then I am going to use my toothbrush here in just a moment. So I'm going to take a little bit of water. You can get fresh water if you need, because my water is a little bit purple, but that's going to be okay because this is mostly paint. So just a little bit of water blended into the white to make it nice and smooth. Okay, and then grab your toothbrush and just dip it in there. And this is a messy step, so make sure you have a little area cleared. And then I like to kind of go in the direction of the Milky Way. You're gonna get a few good splatters, and then you need to go back and reapply. Get some more white, and kind of diagonally apply those stars. Very pretty. This toothbrush technique makes it so we can have lots of little tiny stars, like a really gorgeous clear night far away from any city lights, which just sounds heavenly to me. Okay, that looks great. And now I'm going to retire my toothbrush, and I've got my hands very dirty now, but that's okay. I'm going to take now my small detail brush, and I'm actually going to use the back of my brush and dip it in some white paint, and then add just a few more larger stars as well. So both in the Milky Way area and just kind of all throughout. We are going to add our big Christmas star later at the end. So this is just kind of the medium-sized stars, I suppose, not going to be the brightest celestial bodies. That will be our Christmas star Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, very cool, which is happening on the 21st of this month. So there we go. That looks very nice and surprisingly realistic, I think, for those steps. They're very easy to do. Now I'm going to grab my round pointed brush again, and I'm going to create a few little slopes. Very simple, and then we're actually going to let this layer dry. So you can kind of go however you like here. We're just going to take a little bit of white. We're going to come up on one side like so, and the idea is we want to create two little hills. So one in the background there, and then one a little bit larger here in the foreground. You might need to come up a little bit further than you might think, so that you can come into that beautiful galaxy area and get a nice smooth line. And then we're just going to fill that in with white, and it's okay if the white blends with the other colors that you have on there, because it kind of gives it the effect of like the reflection of the colors in the snow. So that is working to our advantage there. And then I am also going to grab a little bit of blue and add that in there just to give it some frostiness, kind of mostly there at the top. That's a very subtle step. A little bit more blue there. There we go. A little bit of frostiness. Working with the light colors. I don't mind that shadow at all over there. I think that looks nice. So we're gonna let that be a little grayish purple there on the top. And then we do want to fill in the white paint, even though it's a white canvas, because it will look a lot more consistent. Okay, and I think I'm gonna take my blue and just kind of go right there to differentiate my two hills. And that looks really cute. Let's go ahead and let this dry now, and we'll come back and add a whole bunch more. See everybody in a few. Okay, welcome back, artists. I have a dry background. I have fresh colors on my palette paper as well, including phthalo green, black and white, a little bit more of the ultramarine blue, red, and a little bit of yellow. I also have fresh water, and I rinsed my brushes. So I'm now going to come in with my round pointed brush, and I'm going to create my sort of focal point tree as the first main step here of our foreground. So let's go ahead and create a beautiful minty green, which is my favorite color. So pretty. Get that all loaded up on the brush, and then we want to have a pretty big tree because this is our focal point. So I'm going to come up here with some bold lines, and I'm going to kind of flick my brush out either way, but you also want to have some brush strokes that kind of come down because you'd be looking at the tree as well. So there's different angles there going on, but you want to have kind of more pressure as you press the brush down and then kind of flick the brush out with your wrist. Okay, so this is our big main tree in the foreground. Now you can bring it all the way to that little hill and have it sitting on the hill, or you can actually bring it all the way off the canvas too. But I think I'm gonna try just placing it right on the little hill here and just kind of having some brush strokes that go out in all different directions there. And I'm gonna bring it up just a little bit taller, like so. Kind of finesse the shape there. Looking good. No such thing as perfection, and the natural shapes, every tree looks a little bit different, so don't stress too much there. Just creating our cute little Christmas tree here in the foreground, like so. Okay, that looks pretty good. A little bit more here and there. All right. Now we're gonna let that dry for quite a bit because we wanna add a whole bunch of different colors on there. So let your tree dry, leave them alone there for a minute. And let's see, I'm going to grab now my small detail brush. We're gonna kind of work around that tree on a couple different areas, and then we'll come back and decorate it. So let's go ahead and add some small little snowy trees in the background. So I think I'm actually going to do one kind of right here as well. So you want to make sure that these trees are significantly smaller than this main front tree. We're doing white just to get kind of whimsical and snowy, and that's going to come from right over the hill there, right over the horizon. So one over there, and then I think two little ones over here as well, just kind of giving us a little bit of sense of place. And also those two would be coming up from the horizon there as well. Okay, very, very cute. Oh my gosh, love them. I'm gonna grab a little bit of green and just kind of throw some green in there as well, and just to give them some mintiness, and just so that it doesn't look like it's completely full snow, but it's close. Okay, very snowy area. Maybe we shook a little bit of snow off of our main tree in the foreground here as we decorated him. But there's also going to be a little bit of snow on that one too. Okay, very cute. If you want a little bit too heavy-handed anywhere, you can always add a little bit more white back on top to kind of help you blend that green. Okay, that looks good. I think I'm gonna do that over here as well. Just a little bit of blending. Okay, very cute. Let's go ahead and create our other focal point here, which is going to be our Christmas star, which is going to be a very beautiful element of this painting. So I'm gonna take a clean brush. I'm gonna place my star pretty much right in between the kind of two areas here that I have framed out. And then I'm going to take a little brush stroke coming from the top and from the bottom and from either side. So you're creating kind of like a plus sign. And you want to kind of trail the brush stroke off. You end up with a sort of almost triangular shape. Very carefully here, nice big plus sign like so. And then little brush strokes in between those as well will give that really nice star effect. So cute. Okay, let's go ahead and grab a little bit more white and we're going to create kind of some like a little snow flurry. Oops, did a little bit of the splatter there. That's okay. I'm going to start from this side. This is almost sort of like Starry Night inspired. But I'm going to do a few swirls here and go right over my tree. Little graceful swirls, and then maybe right underneath here, kind of swirl my way across the canvas like so. I think that adds a nice little kind of festive, whimsical, mysterious element like so. I'm going to grab a little bit of light blue and I'm going to go right on the inside of those and just add a little bit of color, a little bit of interest, like so. Very pretty, like that one. It kind of blends with the white slightly. You can clean up any areas. I think I want to kind of make that one a little bit more graceful. There we go. Okay, that looks very pretty. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of a dark blue as well, just to kind of give that a little bit of definition and go right on the inside there as well. Very pretty. And the wind is blowing outside here in support of these gusts of wind in the painting. Okay, very pretty. Can kind of blend it. You can even have a few little extra brush strokes here and there, kind of on the outside. Okay, very pretty. Kind of light-handed with that. I didn't get too crazy. In my original, I actually added some green, kind of trying to create like a Northern Lights effect. I didn't end up liking it, so I like this kind of a gentle, subtle, just little bit of swirly elements. So now let's go back to our tree and decorate that again. I'm going to start at the top here with a little bit of white, and I'm going to create a similar star, sort of almost like an ode to the Christmas star. At the top part here, and I'm going to create it with white. I'm going to come back with yellow later. But I'm going to do the white for now. It's going to make it easier for me to add the yellow later and get a nice vibrant yellow. And now, let's see, let's go into our tree and add a little bit of shadow first. So I'm going to grab some black and mix it with a dark green. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to kind of shadow the bottom part of the tree. right where it touches the snow. A little bit of black in there. And then kind of on the outside here and a little bit throughout, just creating a little bit of texture into our tree here. Okay, very nice. Just a few brush strokes. You really want to be light-handed with this. And a few little squiggly marks on the side, I think looks nice, kind of a little sketchy element there, and then just also giving us a nice definition of where the tree ends and the sky begins. Very pretty. Okay. Very cute. Let's add a little bit of snow on that guy now as well. And it's okay if it blends a little bit to that minty green color. We don't mind that. We like the minty green color here. If you're painting along today, I do have a group on Facebook called the Art Club that's designed for my students to share their work, whether it be from painting along with me on Saturdays or just from your own studio. So make sure and check the description box below for information about that. You'll find a link to join that. We would love to have you. Okay, how cute does that look? I love it. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of that dark green now also to the trees here in the background. I'm gonna do the same thing where I kind of do a little squiggly, sketchy outline and then a few brush strokes throughout as well, just to give it a little bit of depth. Very nice. And in the back ones as well, just a little bit of sketchiness. Not very many details needed for those. And then maybe also a little bit of shadow right where it touches the hill. Don't want to get too crazy with that. You can add a little bit more white back on top if you went a little too heavy-handed there. Like so. Create a little bit of fresh snow underneath. And a little bit of kind of reflection. Looks very nice. I think I'm going to take a little bit of white over here now as well and create kind of some fresh snow. And that's just like an additional nice texture as well. And let's take a little bit of that dark green and just very gently do a few little shadows here on that front tree as well. Okay. I think that nice clean snow needs to go kind of right center there too. So kind of working your painting as need be. Every painting is a little bit different. So you might not need clean white, but I think it adds a nice little something something. Kind of almost like the reflection too of the star. Okay, and now let's add some ornaments onto our tree. You can do whatever colors you like, but I think I'm going to start with red and maybe make it pink with a little bit of white. Okay, and just kind of doing all these final little details with our tiny brush. And your tree might be a little bit wet still, so you really kind of just want to blob that paint in there. Like so. And if it blends too much, you may need to kind of wipe your brush off in between, or even rinse your brush. Or I suppose you could also be patient and wait for your tree to dry. But I'm not going to do that today. Okay, very cute. And you get to decorate your tree however you like. Any colors, any ornaments, just like you would decorate your own tree. Kind of a fun way to do a little Christmas craft, if I do say so myself. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow onto that tree. And take some white over here and blend up a little bit of a light yellow. I'm gonna take that up here in my star and just go over that so that it's nice and vibrant. You see how vibrant that looks when you do the white background underneath? Very nice. Okay, and then you can also do some yellow ornaments if you'd like. I think that looks really pretty, kind of like gold. Here and there, you can really add whatever colors you like. Cleaning that brush in between so as to not get too green. A little bit of green, can't notice though, it's okay. Very cute, very Christmassy. Certainly will bring joy to anyone that paints it, I hope. Really fun idea for like a Christmas party or even a virtual painting party. Just decorating our tree however we like. And how about some blue ornaments as well? Why not? So we end up kind of having the primary colors, which I think will be a nice balance of colors. So I'm gonna go for like a medium blue here. Not too dark, not too light. And I'm kind of a less is more gal when it comes to tree decorations. So you could continue on and add perhaps orange and purple and do like, you know, full rainbow, or you could even have like a color theme. Again, that's totally up to however you want to decorate your tree. But I think I'm probably just gonna do these 3 colors because that I think looks really cute. Okay, final little piece de la resistance here. Going to see if I can grab a little bit of clean white and add just a tiny little bit of sheen on some of my ornaments. And that's just a really nice little detail step that I think adds a little something something and makes them look just a little bit more realistic, kind of just more interesting, creating just a little bit of a shine. You can kind of go through each color so that you don't cross blend the colors too much. There we go. Okay. That's looking pretty cute to me. You can put any other final details that you'd like on your painting. I think I'm going to kind of brighten up this white just a pinch. And that is all that I have for you guys today. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments section below. I'd love to see you over in the art club. And until next time, stay creative.